And I think if we bring up on screen now a comparison of this guy as a freeze frame and the other guy as a freeze frame, I think you can see that it's just completely different people. You know, like I said, the same guy with the same body shape, the same look, the same clothes, in the same environment, basically doing the same thing. But because of my body language, I can be perceived in two completely different ways. One is a leader of society and an alpha male, and the other one is just some tech nerd or some submissive man that just looks as though he's having a bad day.
Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about something that I don't think has ever been spoken about. Okay, something that I found in my own life. Sorry, my mustache is tickling me. I don't think I've ever said that either. This is something that I've never seen spoken about in terms of Nofap. Everyone says Nofap's great. Everybody says it's the best thing since sliced bread. I agree. I think when you're doing it, you feel fantastic. One thing nobody's ever spoken about, probably because most people are lying about how far they've actually ever taken Nofap, is once you get to around about, for me personally, once I got to like the 2-3 month stage, I got weird. And I don't know whether that's an overall desperation for sex. I don't know whether that's where you've gone without sex for so long, your body goes, hey, I guess we're just not going to have it. We're not going to be able to masturbate, whatnot. So your sex drive drops and you become a little bit more, submissive. You become a little bit more, sex drive just evades you completely. What's that saying? Use it or lose it. I know that's true for women. I don't think it's true for men, but past a certain point, it just feels like with Nofap, you give off an aura. Like, if you do Nofap for like a month, you give off an aura of like, I want to fuck. I think once you go past like a 2-3 month stage, you give off an aura of like, I can't fuck. It's weird. It's really weird. You almost go from like a ferocious lion to like one of those celibate monks. In my opinion, that's just what I found. I don't know if you guys have found the same thing. Now, I was doing this for a while, like 2 years, when I did. Well, what I mean by that is like, it's basically what a lot of guys would call hard mode or monk mode. I was doing that to focus on my business. I stopped doing that roughly a year and a half ago. And I was like, I need to get back out in the world. I need to start sleeping with women again. I was like, I've done what I set out to do. Let's go and enjoy myself. It took a little while because, like I said, I had that weird aura. It was strange. It was almost like women were like the promised land. And I'm not sure if it's the best thing in the world to just do like a continuous Nofap thing. Right? And I don't know the answer here. I don't know the answer to this middle bit. I know a final conclusion of what happened to me, but I don't know the middle bit. I don't know if you get to that weird stage where it's been too long that you just ejaculate to remind yourself and then you go again just to reset that good cycle. I don't know whether that's the kind of like secret sauce, if you would, excuse the pun. Or whether it's worth, and people are going to turn their nose up at this and be like, that's some simp behavior, that's beta behavior. If you're really struggling and you've been sexless for like fucking 5 months and you've got that weird aura where it's just like you can't get sex no matter what, you're on Nofap, you just feel like a freak, is it worth paying for it? Right? And I'm not advocating that because a lot of people are under 18 on here and whatnot, and that's not, it probably goes against the guidelines or whatever, and it is illegal, right? But I'm just saying, like, as a possibility, like, would it be the worst thing in the world? I think it's the better of the scenarios. It stops you being like, sex is this sacred thing. And people blow it up as, oh, that's some simp behavior, but you're not getting it anyway. Because here's the reason I say that. Once I started having sex again, I was like, my aura's changed. I didn't really look at it the same again. I'm lucky because I'm quite a tall guy. I've worked hard to be in shape and stuff like that. So when I decided, okay, I'm going to have sex again, I had options in waiting. It was quite easy to do. But I just felt it in myself. I was like, my aura's just switched. I was like, I just feel like sex is just like, it's just this thing that I can get. It feels good. Like, I connect well with women. Like, the sex went well. That's a big thing too. If you guys are going into sex with like a floppy dick, pre-Nofap, but then post, once you're doing it, your dick is hard again, you feel good and you give a good sexual performance, hey, it's going to boost your confidence massively. Okay, so that definitely helps. And I had that situation where I was just like, my dick's rock hard, I'm performing at a high level. These women are enjoying it. Like, that went well. That was a great interaction. But then I became like, after I did it, I became less weird. And I was just finding that I was just like having normal conversations with women and not trying to chase sex, because it was almost like, well, that's ticked. I feel good. And then after, like, if I'd waited too long, it was like, oh, I'm starting to get weird again here. Like, that was a strange thing. It was like an aura. Like, when you'll find as a man, when you're having regular sex, you know, like, you could have a girlfriend, you could be doing it in that manner. Like, I was in a situation this summer, it was a lot. I'm not going to brag because I don't find it particularly interesting at all. I don't think it's an achievement of merit. It was just something that my life was set up in a certain way where women were coming to me. I was having a good time. I was enjoying, I was just enjoying my life, basically. And it was just attracting more and more women. There was just an aura. There was just like, I was walking around just like, number one, I fuck. Number two, I fuck very well. And I was just like, number three, I feel like if I go up to this girl right now, I could probably, get her number. I could probably sleep with her. I was like, I just feel good. I feel confident. That's one thing that on Nofap you will not have. I feel like there is a weird zone. I feel like it's fantastic. It's the best thing ever. And it's just like a weird zone. 2-3 months. I don't know what you guys think. For me, it was like 2.5, 3 months. I was like, I just feel weird. Like, I've almost... I'll tell you a little reminder here, guys. Some of you guys might remember it. You know when you don't have like sex for a while, and then you have sex again, you go, fuck, I forgot how good sex was. I forgot how good that felt. I forgot how great it was to just fucking see a woman naked. I forgot how good it was to just hear a woman moan. Those little like celebrations, those little trophies where you're just like, damn, that was me. I made her do that. That was amazing. That felt so fucking good. It's like, I imagine when guys went off to war and then they came back, just like a hug from a woman, they were like, oh my God, it feels amazing. It's like a nice, healthy reminder that shit, this exists. And that's what I found. And my aura just changed where I was like, I get that. I get women. I get female attention. When I interact with women, it goes well. Just little moments like that. I was like, okay, that's great. That's where I think Nofap's a little bit shitty. Okay? And connecting to that, I feel like when a lot of guys are on Nofap, I feel like they're still getting visually stimulated. Just in general, a lot of guys are looking at like pixels. They're looking at Instagram. They're looking at stuff like other platforms. I guess like some guys are on OnlyFans and whatever, but I guess it wouldn't really make sense if you were doing Nofap. But you could be on like Instagram, Google, whatever it might be. And you're still worshipping pixels. You're still worshipping these women. You're like, oh, I better not do it. And you're resisting. But I find that weird too. I feel like any time that you're glorifying something, you're putting it up on a pedestal. And I was talking to Alicia about this after the podcast. We were walking down the street to meet her friends again. And I spoke about one video where there was a guy shaking. She was like, where he met her basically and he was shaking. She was like, I promise you. She was like, this happens to me all the time. She was like, I've met guys regularly that are physically shaking when they meet me. Now, that doesn't happen because you think she's hot. That happens because you've looked at loads of pictures of her before and you're like, oh my God, it's actually her. She's actually unbelievable. That's your brain going, fuck, we're meeting a celebrity. We're meeting our hero, somebody that we've masturbated to 100 times. I was walking down the street with her and this one guy was like this on his phone and he went like that and was staring. And I was like, this guy clearly follows her on Instagram or some shit. And he was just glued. He was like, as he was walking past. That was really weird. And that's what it'll do to you. This kind of like, if you're away from physical contact, if you're away from women properly, and all you've got is like, you're doing Nofap, you're keeping them at bay, but all you can think about is women, and you're looking at pictures but resisting, putting women up on a pedestal. I'd love to fuck her, but you're not doing it. It just builds a weird aura. That's what I found. And the difference between like a very active sex life with multiple women and meeting multiple women and going on dates and whatnot versus a delayed Nofap experience where it's like 2-3 months down the line. It was massive. It was massive. So what I'm saying is, even though my balls would have been empty, even though I just had sex, which is what Nofap's all about, is semen retention, I just had an aura where it was like, I fuck, and I fuck good, and my dick works. She loved it. We're going to see each other again. And then other women would smile at you and see you. Maybe it was a confidence that you're walking around with. But I swear to God, if you do Nofap for too long, you do become weird. That's food for thought. That needs a round table discussion with a bunch of us from this industry. Do you get to a certain stage and you go, okay, I'm not doing this for women. I'm doing this for success and gym and whatnot. So I'm going to keep doing it because it's giving me good results. And I'm doing it for mental health purposes and I feel positive when I'm doing Nofap. Fair enough. But if you are doing it, like if you get to a point where you're like, I just want to get laid now. Like I was doing it to fix my dick. My dick's now rock hard. I really want to get laid. Like I said, I don't think masturbation is the key. I really don't. And I don't think it should be wildly frowned upon that a guy can plausibly pay for it. I don't think it should be wildly frowned upon. I just think for a lot of guys, it would fix a shit ton of their lives. I actually heard Kevin Samuels say this. I'll credit Kevin Samuels. And he said the same thing. He was doing a video where he was like, a lot of these guys that are virgins, they're looking for that romantic special night with the one. He was like, mate, just go and pay for it. He was like, what's the problem? He was like, just go and pay for sex, whatever, and enjoy yourself. And these guys were like, yeah, but that's beta behavior. He was like, it ticks the box, gets it out of the way, stops you being a fucking weirdo. You know, and then you crack on with your life. It just kickstarts, okay, I have sex with women. That was a good experience. That went well. Let's get on with my life. A lot of people are going to disagree with that, but I don't think masturbation's the answer because you would then feel like shit and you'd feel depressed and negative. And people are like, what about the cost? You're giving money to women. Guys, at the end of the day, every date that I go on now is like fucking £100, £200, £300. You have a woman over for a weekend, it's like fucking £300. Right? So if you were to pay for it, it's going to be the same fucking cost. Do you know what I mean? Like if you guys just want to do like 30 minutes, like £150. Just to move on with your life and then it's not there. It's not just like ingrained in your brain. It's the only thing that you can think about. It's just, and I'm not saying every weekend, every month or whatever. I'm saying like every 3 months or so. If you're doing Nofap and you didn't get sex, I'm not saying to go and do it. Is it the worst idea? Is it the worst idea in the world to then be like, that was great. I had sex. It went well. It felt good. Me and that woman connected. She was really into me, even though, you know, you get the reason why. But it's like, it's a positive reinforcement. I just don't think having absolutely no sex at all and not masturbating and not reminding your brain how great sex is, how great the touch of a woman is, how all this feels. I just think it does something to your aura. I just think it fucks you up. I just think when you're fucking often and you're integrating with beautiful women often and having conversations, it's a skill. It just comes to you. You just become better and better at it. Then you just give off a certain aura. And women can sense it. They can smell it. I don't know what it is. They can smell other women on you. I don't know. When I've had sex with other women and then quickly like pop to the shop, oh, we need water. We're both fucking tired. Other women are just like staring at you all over you, just like in a weird way. I mean, it could be a fucking pheromone thing. I don't know. I've always found that weird as well. But it's definitely your aura changes. And this isn't a video of me saying, hey guys, go and pay for it and whatever. Best case scenario is you get laid, okay, properly. That's always going to be the best case scenario. The main point of this video for me, for you guys, is I do personally think, and I want to hear your experiences, after a certain length of time, Nofap makes you weird. I think being away for something for so long makes you bad at it. And I think, look, Nofap's great if you want to, you know, push forward with your career, if you want to do different things. But I think the highest level men, the men that enjoy their lives the most, are obviously having regular sex. Now, that's easier said than done. Okay, not everyone can do it. But I think it's good as a man to stay in a rhythm. And staying in a rhythm might be if you had to go and pay for it once, and then you're giving off a certain aura, and you get in a rhythm, and you're more comfortable with it, and you're not like walking around pented up like, hi, it's nice to meet you. I can't fuck this opportunity up because I need to get laid. I haven't been laid in 3 months. Do you see what I mean, guys? That's what I see from a lot of men. I've been doing Nofap for 6 years, and it's like, bro, you're going to explode like a fucking volcano. Right? And if you don't want to masturbate, hey, is it the worst thing in the world? Is it the worst option? And like I said, I'm not promoting that so much. It's just food for thought. It's consideration. Like I said, I was lucky. I was able to, I had girls that wanted to fuck me for 2 years. And I was just like, no, look, I'm on this thing. I'm really dedicated. So it was easy. It was easy to come out of it. Okay? But if you are a guy, like I said, I've seen guys, I've been on Nofap for like a year. I can't get any women. I don't know. I just want to have sex. I just, you know, it's all I can think about. That right there, it's all I can think about. Go and tick the box, man. Like Kevin Samuels said, just tick it off. It's not that important. It really isn't that important. Guys make a big meal of it. The thing is, you've taken 20 girls on dates in the last like 4 months and none of them have slept with you. Probably cost you like fucking £3,000. It's like you could have got the same thing for like 200 quid. From somebody probably way more beautiful than the girls that you were dating. Now, I'm not saying that's your regular thing. I'm not saying that's your go-to. I'm not saying that's what you should do. But for a lot of guys, I feel like that would be the catalyst to them then going, okay, regular sex life. Like, for example, you start doing Nofap. You start seeing improvements in yourself, your life, etc., female attention. You try your best to improve your life. You try your best to get laid. Everybody does it. Let's say it works. Fantastic. Then you continue on Nofap. You continue off the back of that. You're now a guy that only gets off via sex. That's the position I'm in right now. I have sex. I continue with Nofap until I have sex again. This space now is tiny, and if I want it to be even shorter, it could be. It's a nice position to be in. Okay, it feels good. It's a good life. You might get to month 1 and you're going, okay, but I feel good. My energy's up. My gym results are better than ever. I've never felt fresher as a man. I've never felt more masculine. That's great. Okay, you get to month 2. You start, okay, starting to play on my mind now. It's starting to get some pented up energy. You get a little bit desperate. Or you start to like lose that desire for women. You stop remembering what they feel like. Like, none of those situations are good. You get to month 3 and you're just fucking sexless weirdo. You become that celibate kind of incel character. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not sure that's healthy. I'm not sure that's good. And if some of you guys are really put off by this, if some of you guys are like, oh, that's a weird scenario, you don't even have to pay a woman for sex. If you just paid a woman just to fucking hang out and talk to, and you could just cuddle and watch a fucking movie with, I just think anything's better than being that weirdo that's gone, I've gone 6 years on Nofap, but next year's going to be the one. It's like, it's probably not. It's probably not. I just don't think that's... Look, I think Nofap is great, but once your balls are fully full, once you've produced excess amount of semen, and then you're not really you're just... there's a conveyor belt where it's just continuous. Because when you lose semen, your body has to replace it. When your body is full and it starts improving you and like making your skin better and all that sort of stuff, and you've got spare energy and whatnot, I don't know what else there really is to do after that point. Your body wants you to bust. Hence why guys have wet dreams. Your body's just like, we're not getting in real life. We're going to have to visualize it in our sleep. We're going to have like a lucid dream just to remind you of like what I really want to be fucking doing. So I just think a lot of guys have just got to remind themselves, like, the touch of a woman is nice. Kissing a woman is really nice. Having sex with a woman is really nice. Eating pussy is amazing. These little things, like just sitting and watching a movie and having a conversation with a woman, seeing a woman just dressed up on a night out, going out with you. It's just like these little mini interactions, all these major circumstances like having sex. They're so important to creating that masculine aura. Now, one thing that I've massively noticed is some of these like older films. A lot of these older films, the guys in these older films are giving off, look, and they weren't great guys. They used to beat women and stuff like that. It was terrible. But because women weren't in the workplace back then, because they weren't earning as much as men, women needed men more than they do today, which meant if any kind of guy, any kind of boss at work was like, hey, me and you are fucking now, she had really no say in it. She had really no say. She was like, okay, like, it's probably the best I can do. This guy wants me, if he marries me, it's a benefit for me. Like, women were a lot easier back then. And you could tell from the aura of the guys, they were more masculine. They were fucking more often. I think a lot of this kind of pixel worship being, look, and I'm actually fapping all the time, watching porn. It's the worst version of that. But then I think doing Nofap for a long period of time, pixel worshipping, seeing beautiful women on the street and being like, right, I've been on Nofap for like 6 months. I have to go over. I have to go and have a conversation. I don't think that helps too. I think it should just be a regular cycle, because some of these older school guys that were having sex very regularly from like the age of 16 onwards, and it never stopped, because back then women were easier to get, in my opinion, because the men were legitimately the biggest prize. They had a different aura. They were just calmer and quieter. Like, you see them in old black and white movies, just there with a cigar, just talking in a certain way, just very relaxed. Like everything about them is just, just exuding masculinity. The only people you see that in today is like movie stars, rock stars, celebrities and whatnot, because these guys are fucking all the time. Somebody like a George Clooney, a Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, they're really calm and slow, and like Tom Hardy's developed this, and all these guys that are just sleeping with beautiful women all the time, they're just like, hey, I've got a certain aura about me. Just even talk slower and deeper, right? But the guys that are like pented up and always like on edge, I see that a lot in this generation. We're a massive, massive incel generation. And yeah, Nofap's great. But I think this is food for thought in the Nofap kind of community and the way that everybody talks about it. I think you get weird. I think you get weird after... I don't know why it's 2.5 to 3 months. I've been told before, after 67 days, I don't know where they got this from. I hope there's a study. But after 67 days, your balls are full. That's like... It's just a continuous conveyor belt there of just replacing old with new continuously. It's not, we've got to replenish the stalls. The stalls are low. It's like the stalls are up here. Every one that leaves, another one replaces it. It's just continuous, right? I've told that years ago. 67 days it takes. The maths would kind of check out that once you get to that like 2 month and a little bit period, because I've said 2.5 months to 3, that would check out. Because then it's like your body's just going, well, buddy, like if we're fully loaded here, if we're not going to fuck, kind of annoying me. Like it gives you a 2-3 week window and then it's just like, hey, I'm just going to bust in our sleep because you'll become a little weirdo. This isn't really working. Maybe the body pushes you and makes you a little bit strange. If you don't fuck during that period, maybe it goes, hey, why the fuck are we even trying? Just subdue the sex drive because it's driving me crazy. I mean, that's bro science. That's bro theories that I'm throwing out there. But I'm just saying it's food for thought. It should definitely be discussed. I don't know what you guys think, but in my experience, I became weird after a few months of doing it. My thinking changed. I was a different person. When you're fucking often, you're just like, I feel good. I feel relaxed. Go and talk to that woman. You're like, yeah, okay, I'll go over and talk. You're not pixel worshipping all the time and then seeing something like Alicia and be like, oh my God, it's actually you. That is a big part of that. Like these old school men, like I said, they were sleeping all the time. Like they've never known anything but sex whenever they wanted it because that's how it was back then. And they were just different. They were just way more masculine. Like I said, sat there with a cigar and a whiskey in the hand and just, hey, you over there, come here. Like you could see that in the movies and like interviews that they did. It was really different. Concluding statement, I think modern men lack a I fuck regularly aura. I have an active sex life aura. That guy fucks. Like that aura is gone for a lot of men. I don't see that in a lot of guys. I see a lot of desperation in their eyes. I see a lot of, you see it in the gym. Nice girl walks in with some like short shorts on, arse cheeks popping out. She squats a lot. And it's just like that. You'll catch guys in the mirror when you're doing weights and whatever. You're like, just catch them looking and it's like that. And then they look at you and they're like, oh shit. There's, and I'm not saying that's from Nofap. There's probably from fapping all the time and pixel worshipping. Like there's 2 different versions. You know what I mean? But I think past a certain point, like I've explained, Nofap also makes you weird. I think there's a window for men and it's roughly about 2 months. And I think if you don't fuck in that 2-month Nofap period, you should consider doing something. I don't know what that option might be. It might be to refresh the tank and to go again. I don't know. You might feel too good and you don't want to ruin it. It might be another option. I don't know what it might be for you guys. It might be knowing how to lucid dream. It might be knowing that, look, I can have a wet dream whenever I fucking feel like it. I know how to control it. Some guys can control that lucid dream. Some guys know if they go to sleep with boxers on, they will bust. It could be that. I don't know what it would be for you. But I know for a fact, guys, if I was like I'm on year 6 of Nofap, some woman's going to sleep with me soon, I'd be paying an escort. I'd be paying for it. 100, fuck that, man. Not waiting 6 years and I'm trying hard. It's just like, fuck that. I'd have to be like, let's just get my mindset right. It's obviously me. I'm obviously getting creepy where I'm like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Let me not fuck this up because I haven't had sex for 6 years. Like, I just don't think that helps anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like, is every guy on Nofap fucking all the time? No, they're not like, Like, most guys doing it are pretty fucking weird. I think somebody just got shot. It's pretty weird. But it definitely helps you. It helps your life. But if you want to be a guy who has that masculine aura about him, like, yeah, I have regular sex. I've got a regular sex life. And there is an aura, because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it at the moment. It's, women can sense it on you. Like, this guy's had sex. You can tell. Other girls want this man. That's what, that's what they're kind of thinking. If you want that, I think you need to operate in that 2-month window. Now, ideally, you want it week to week, don't you? Do you know what I mean? But because there's a testosterone spike every week then. I think the human body's actually learned the weekly schedule of humans. Oh, you go out on Saturdays, okay, and you got laid. Well, let's do that again next week. Like, I think it's learned the schedule of humans. Very clever. But yeah, more men need to operate in that 2-month cycle. Now, I'm going to shoot off, guys, because my voice is absolutely fried. I think it's about 12:30 in the morning, like 1 in the morning is coming up for. I had a problem with some shit down there. It wasn't loading after a video that I did, so I had to wait. But it's nice to be back, guys. I just did 3 videos back to back, and it's nice to be back. I'm feeling controversial at the moment. I'm feeling passionate. I've got a lot more ideas. I'm feeling like the stream platform's coming. Feeling good. Feeling massive. I think it's going to be a big year, guys. I think it's going to be a big year, but I'll speak to you all soon. It was nice to be back with the new setup. Have a good one, boys.